Yo, what's good, y'all? What's popping? How is everybody doing out there in the beautiful land of the internet? The internet, net. I just be tweeting. That's all I do in my life. Tweets all day. DJ Nighttime, I like that name. Daddy Sauce, remember me? Of course I remember you. My arch friend. Toothbrush. What's good? Hannah, what is happening? Good to see you. You're a minute late. Yes, very, very tardy. You will receive punishment in due time. I'm sending one of my colleagues around. Space Queen, Pam, Leslie, what is up? Sugar Mills, Rachel Russell, Emily, Brittany T. Just tweets, nothing more. I promise thee. Twitter sucketh. Twitter does sucketh. What's up with that? What a strange congregation of, what a strange manifestation of the modern times Twitter is. Just a place to spread negativity, I suppose, but hey, I guess it's better that we have an outlet for that than it all building up, you know? Maybe Twitter was specifically created by the government to keep us passive so we feel like we're doing something, you know? We're participating in something sort of indirectly, but at the same time it's achieving something within our psychology that feels like an accomplishment. I don't know, you know? I'm not saying we all do it, because I do, you know, just on there for the memes. But maybe in many ways it is good. Alex, Twitter is very not cash money. Can you guys hear the music okay? I'm so excited. Like, I don't know why I'm excited. I mean, so one of my favorite guys to listen to music-wise, his name's Ryan Celsius. And he makes just these fucking dope-ass mixes on YouTube for music. And we were chatting over DM because I think I commented on one of his stories. And he was a big fan of my channel too. And I was just like, holy shit, dude, this is perfect. And so I told him I would get some of his beats involved in some of these pre-stream hangout sessions. So I hope you guys are cool with it because I like this one. Maya B with the $2 first dono of the night. Hello, friend. Hello, Maya. Welcome. You guys will notice I'm a little bit early. A wee tad bit early. Right, Rachel says, still not getting notifications. Just thankful you have a scheduled time. I just keep checking. Glad I'm not missing you today. Well, thank you, Rachel. Yeah, honestly, that's the best way to do it. Usually, yeah, going live between 9 and 10 on the nights before videos. Normal video schedule is Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Rudy, I'm glad I can be that friend for you. Ooh. Some of the music kind of scratched my ears there. I don't know if you guys felt that or not, and I apologize. Yes, so next video, I'm going to be recording tonight. We'll be kicking that off here in about 16 minutes. I want to hear how your day is, how you doing. And boxers or briefs. Something in between. I really like the I think he added that little scratch in there for effect, but it hurts my deep inner earlobe. But yeah, boxer brief, like these Under Armour boxer briefs are great because you can work out in them, you can wear them, you can just sprint through the jungle in them. Say you've been like captured, it's gonna wick away all that sweat. You can steal them. Say you're a girl, you can steal them from your boyfriend and still fit that hindquarters in them nice and comfy. Christy with the 3. Thank you, Christy. That's a cool name. Anu. Thank you, thank you. And Cage Unlimited with the 5 says, hardcore fan, keep doing what you're doing, bro, and I'll keep listening. Thank you, Cage. Thank you for the encouragement. I feel like I need some encouragement sometimes, because I don't know about you guys, but like with every like hundreds of positive comments that I get, like one negative comment or like one strange comment just kind of like sends me a little like just into a negative mindset, and I just don't really, I don't know how you guys get, if you get that way, if you make content and you get like one dislike out of, but then you had like 100 other likes. It's like, it's not, the dislikes actually don't bother me that much, unless it was like very noticeable. But yeah, I don't know, it's weird, something to get caught up on, which is silly. But Voltagonist with the 5 says, hi, Let's Read, I've been listening to you for over a year now, and this is my first live stream I'm going to be tuning into. Love you, man. Thank you, Voltagonist, and thank you for the 5. Welcome to your first live stream. For those who are unaware or new to the party, basically, you can see the countdown clock in the bottom right hand of the screen. Usually I'm just chilling, chatting with you guys for a wee bit, just jamming with the music. And then we will kick off. You'll get to hear me recording stories and get to experience all my mishaps along the way. And I'll get to chat with you as we go along. Just a good time, just a chill time, good community. If you enjoy the community, you can take it over to Discord and keep it rolling there. I highly encourage that. Lots of friendly faces over there. Mitch's World Travel with the 15 Aussie bucks. Love your videos, love to fall asleep to them. Thank you, Mitch. Thank you, guys. I love that you guys are able to use this stuff to kind of drift off to dreamland or whatever, wherever or however you decide to use it. It makes me happy that, because sleep is very important, and the mind, for me, tends to race quite a bit.
Hey, listen.
And honestly, you know, a trick I've come to find, I don't know what you guys use as far as tricks to falling asleep, but I think the whole, like, reading thing is really important, or, like, listening to somebody talk or whatever, or, you know, having white noise or all the ASMR kind of stuff is really important, because basically it, like, in my mind, what it's doing is it's distracting your brain. It's taking you to another line of thought. And once it takes you down enough rabbit holes in your mind, before you even realize it, you know, are essentially in, you know, hopefully REM cycle sleep or something like that. Because what I've come to notice is that if I start to think like, you know, if I start to think about real life stuff while I'm laying in bed, my best bet is to just start like imagining really random things, and then I just kind of follow that. Like if it's you know, a space alien shooting green goo everywhere, you know, maybe my mind all of a sudden follows me over to where is that green goo heading, and then all of a sudden I see where the green goo is heading. It landed on an iceberg, and then that iceberg starts to melt. It's just like, basically it's like a fever dream, you know, but in like a good way. And you let it take you wherever it's going to take you. And I think that's the quickest way to find your brain's ability to turn off the sectors in which cause you to sort of be in an anxious mode. You allow the crazy thoughts that are more abstract, maybe more artistic. You know, you follow the artistic thoughts down wherever rabbit hole they head to. Crystal Velarde with the 5 says, hey, hope all is well, everyone. It's been the worst week for me. Haven't been me for the whole week, so hoping being here will help. Well, Crystal, I'm hoping that we can help you with that, and it's so good to see you again. Thank you for the 5. Appreciate that. And Mitch's World Travel with another 15 Aussie bucks says, is there one story that you liked a lot yourself? You know, there's so many crazy ones. I was in Discord earlier. Someone reminded me of some of the funnier ones from the most recent Burger King stories, and I really enjoyed those because, I don't know, something about just the novelty of like Burger King.
Hey, listen.
Sadly enough, the Burger Kings around here actually starting to shut down, which is a little bit sad. I don't know about your area, if you're starting to see businesses head in some negative directions, but it's crazy. Hey, Lila, what is happening? Good to see you. And Miss Molly with the 2 says, Joel, hello, I love you. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, Miss Molly. Love you as well. I'm glad to see you. Glad to welcome you here.
Listen.
Oh, Hannah, you also do that to fall asleep. I'm glad, yeah. You just gotta let the mind take you, because there's so, sometimes I feel like this world is like a battle for your mind, you know what I mean? Like, there's just so many things competing for our attention, so many things that want to like exploit our emotions, so many things that want to exploit our fears, our anger. And when you exist in that constant, I guess, state of vibrational, hippy dippy nonsense that I'm gonna spout out. No, I'm just kidding. But like when you exist in that sort of state of mind, it's so easy to, because I think it's so instinctive, because in many ways fear and anger is sort of like one of our most base instincts that's built into us to help protect us in some fashions, but also the fact that like in our modern times it seems to be people are utilizing our emotions to sort of like influence us or lead us to a position of negativity. And I think I think whenever, imagine yourself in like a group of people, like, or say you're on like a stage and you're all being hypnotized, you know what I mean? Like, to a degree, some people might be more susceptible to hypnotism, but I think it's important to be wary of things that try to hypnotize you and place you in a sort of state of a lull that keep you from, that essentially lead you towards the herd, you know what I mean? Or lead you with the herd. But I think what's really important is to sort of like change your psychology to maintain its sense of individuality, even whenever you are amidst large groups of individuals, so that those things that sort of influence you, say like you're in front of your class and you were the class clown when you were in kindergarten and stuff like that, and it probably heavily influenced you as a person, because you really enjoyed pleasing other individuals. But sometimes you really got to take a step back and ask yourself, like, am I being true to myself? Because sometimes trying to go along with the crowd can lead you down pathways that just really don't stick well with your own personal philosophies, and you got to be true to yourself. Cheyenne Dory Bob with the 2 says, the sound of thunderstorms helps me sleep. Yeah, I do really like rain. I should add rain to a stream sometime. That would be really cool. Or to a video, I don't even know. Bridget Jones with a 5 says, seems like you're on a deep wavelength tonight. I'm ready for some rants. Yeah, I sometimes I do get into rants, and it's you guys have to get me riled up. Get me all riled up. Get me riled and ranting and tanting, smanting. Deshae Brown, or Braun, sorry, with the 2 says, 6-hour trip to Texas, halfway there, glad to end it with you. Oh, nice. Yeah, you're on the home stretch here. Be safe out there. Eyes on the road. No fear. Thank you for the 2. Alex, but I'm not gonna go to bed a billion times. You can do a billion bedtimes. That's it, it's bedtimes times a billion. What's up, Weston? Rant pants. I think this song will actually repeat. We're chilling for another 6 minutes. Burger King in heaven is not only for free, and you can order as much as you can, but you also get binkies. Thank you, Jesus Christ. Where's the brother? Satan. Saturnalia. Satan. Satan. I'm resting assured that I have to lean on Alex. He's worked his way to head moderator, I believe. Well, I think Gothic still has more seniority, but they're going to work together as the most beautiful tandem you've ever seen. They're going to dance. But yeah, click that like button if you haven't already, guys. Share this out with the fam. Let YouTube know that this is a worthy stream that many people need to hear about on a beautiful Sunday evening. Being Scared does some rain in his videos. Yeah, he's got that locked down. I'm gonna have to ask him, where do you find this so-called rain I hear about? I'd love to include it. I'd love to collaborate with Rain. Do you have Rain on speed dial? Oh, it's snuggle time with little booger. That's cute. It is fun whenever I hear that my videos and Hangout get to be like kind of a family time. You blasting your speakers with this? Hell yeah. Hope my voice is mixed well with it, not blowing you out. Blowing you out. Letty Ramos with the 2 says, hey Joel, always look forward to these nights. Thank you, Letty. Gracias. You stream, me too. I do really look forward to streams now, you know. You feel like your big bro's gonna call you during your story. Should I blow him off for you? Well, you know, I don't want to like get in between family. If you got time to spend with a call with your family, I would say you go for it, because these stories will be here for you, nice and edited tomorrow at its normal time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I feel like I just gotta like plug that in just so nobody ever forgets. Estrella Lovely with a 3. Thank you, Estrella. And Javier Reyes with the 5 says, hey, Let's Read. Thanks for streaming, getting me through my quarantine. I tested positive for that Rona. It sucks. Oh, shit, man. Yeah. Hope, well, you know, keep your immune system up. Stay safe, as always. I know that that's something to take seriously, especially now he's tested. But I've had some friends that have had it as well, and they've come out on top, so I trust you will as well. Just, yeah, vitamin C, vitamin D, sunlight, stay hydrated, eat well, get lots of sleep, and I promise you will overcome, my friend. Mitch's World Travel with the 10 again. Says, when will you show your face to all of us? Oh, man. Who knows? Maybe it's already out there somewhere. You just gotta really dig. Maybe it's hidden in plain sight. Like all the greatest riddles in life. Rachel Russell with the 20. Big Australian down under buckaroony. Says, hands down, you're the best narrator on YouTube. Your voice is sublime. I love these live streams. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you. With the big 20 bucko dono. Really appreciate that. Hope everything's going well in Aussie town. Hope everybody's hanging out in their kangaroo pouch for the night. Y'all need that vitamin Joel. Am I trying to be deep? Oh yeah. So deep. I'm trying to be balls deep. Shit. Yeah, county fair stories. Really wanted to do this for a while, but I feel like now this is the season, the time and place. Gothic, thank you for posting the Discord. I appreciate that. Yeah, my face is right there. I'm the spaceman. I'm the spaceman. Shibba-da-da-da-ba-da-da-ba-ba-ba. Doop-da-da-da. Shibba-da-da-da-ba-da-da-ba-da. Dab party. Can everybody just quick dab? Ooh. 1 minute till we read, baby. Wonder what song from Iron Cthulhu we should include tonight. He's just oh so talented. Alright, so downloads Iron Cthulhu Apocalypse. I got you dancing, heck yeah. Got you dabbing, dancing, grooving. Groovy. 30 seconds. 30 seconds! I don't know if anybody ever played any, like, the old Call of Duties. I just remember, like, landing on D-Day. It was like, 10 seconds! That shit must have been a wee bit crazy. Subscriber stories soon. Yes, we will be hitting that definitely this week sometime. Mitch's World Travel with another $10. dollarinos from the Outback. Says, I'm so sorry you got killed in Last of Us 2, lol. Hey, that's okay. I think I kind of had it coming, you know? Also, spoiler alert there. We're losing Bravo! Yeah, they say that. Just constantly trying to maintain piles of sand. Well, guys, if you want to check out this mix, this is called Homunculus, kind of like homunculus, but it's homie in the beginning, and it's by it says Anada, Lo-Fi Beat by Ryan Celsius. And yeah, I love Ryan Celsius. He makes some amazing trap-oriented beats. This is some lo-fi here that he mixed together, but I felt that it fit pretty well, you know. But I'll be switching over to our reading screen here by the amazing Robin Mikalsen. He also makes all my thumbnails for the most part as well. Let's play a little Dark Ambient Hour Ancestral Nightmares. That sounds interesting. Always got to turn that up a wee bit. Also, I will have you guys know that thanks to your amazing generosity, I've purchased a fan that I hope you can't hear. Hope it doesn't get picked up too much in the background. Hopefully the music will drown it out a little bit more, but play some gospel music. Yeah, next time, Jesus, next time. But yeah, I got a fan, and it feels good. It's really nice, and it's pretty quiet too. It's like some sort of badass future fan, so I will not be boiling in the summer heat. Oh, you sound dumb, but what is county fair? Yeah, so a county fair, I guess, how could you guys describe that? I guess it's like a it's like a carnival, but not like as curated as like a carnival is, but it's basically if you just go out into the rural areas of the world, they always have these big sort of festivals where you can ride rides, you know, play games, you know, carnival games, and see different things like animals and stuff like that, and get a bunch of terrible food, deep fried shit, deep fried pig poop. It's amazing, actually. Some of the most delicious food you could probably ever come by. Unfortunately, I think most of them are probably canceled this year. Yeah, pretty much a hillbilly wedding, but they are quite they are quite endearing, I would say, or at least for a night. You know what I mean? It's kind of funny because some of them, like, you go to them and it's just fun to people watch too. You throw on glasses and a hat like you're in some sort of disguise. I guess this year would have been really good if you had a mask on. No one would know, but great people watching adventures, and I swear to God, some of them need like a lane specifically designated for, you know, like hover rounds, like those motorized chairs. Mo939 with the 10 buckaroonies says, thanks for all the time you put in. Hey, you're welcome, Mo. Thank you for the 10 buckaroonies. I appreciate that. You guys keep me motivated to keep coming back. You're super, super awesome and positive. So funny. I watched this one like Overwatch streamer. I don't know if you guys watch any streamers on Twitch or anything like that, which I saw Soldier Boy. Did you guys see Soldier Boy has been streaming on Twitch? He was playing old school RuneScape, and I don't know if he's using it to like promote his game console because he has some sort of game console, but I thought that was pretty badass. And he probably had like 2.5k people watching, you know what I mean? So I was like, this dude's Dragon Girls, do you have to pledge money before you read my text? You do not. No, you can just type a message into the chat. You know, I'm going to be reading stories here, so I might be distracted, but if the message is very prudent to be read, I will definitely do my best to get to it if you know, at me, but sometimes I miss it. But with donations, I'm not saying that it has to be done, but it would like guarantee that I would eventually get to it after I basically, if I mess up while reading, I look over at the chat to see what I missed, and that's kind of the pacing I do with that. But either way, I'm just happy you guys are here. I'm going to be recording anyways, so. Love the Wendigo and Let's Read hologram. I know, we're duking it out there. That thing's badass. But without further ado, yeah, county fairs are a little sketchy as hell. Without further ado, I shall, Soldier Boy, tell him. Crank that, Soldier Boy. Gothic, have you read my donut? Oh, Gothic, I don't think your donation went through. Let me scroll through. I apologize if I missed it. I normally can see like every one of them that pop up, but I would feel. Yeah, it doesn't say that you donated tonight, so I apologize if I missed it. Wait. 14 minutes ago, there it was. Holy cow. I'm so sorry, Gothic. I must have gotten caught up there with a 5 Canadian maple syrup dollar. Says, missed you all. Baby is due any day, so anxiety is through the roof. Glad I can chill here for a bit. Gothic, oh my goodness. I'm so sorry I missed that. Thank you for... Honestly, if I do ever miss anybody's donations, please don't hesitate to let me know, because that's not... I ain't about ignoring anybody, I promise. So, thank you, Gothic, and congratulations on the baby to come soon. I hope and pray that everything goes well with that. We will continue to be here for you once you make your comeback, and hopefully the baby will be a Let's Read fan for life. For life. Falls asleep. Baby falls asleep to scary stories. SCP-049, you have missed nothing. We're going to kick this bad boy off here. Let's do it. Events from this story took place during the summer of my sophomore or junior year of college. I remember that I had just celebrated my birthday and was getting ready to head back to campus in the next week or so. For a little background, each year, ever since I was little, my family would spend 10 days at the state fair. We lived on a farm and would bring some of our animals with us to stay in the buildings that fairgoers could walk through during their trips to the fairgrounds. We would bring our RV camper and would often rotate who would stay in the RV and who would stay in the buildings with the animals. Most of the time, everyone returned to the RV to sleep, as it wasn't the most comfortable night's sleep staying in a chair next to the animal stall all night. I have so many good memories from my time spent at the fair. I met some of my closest friends there, and it turned into almost like a family reunion that I would look forward to every year. The adults would stay with the animals during the day, and the kids could walk around the fair and have fun. At night, we would all get together and have dinner and enjoy lots of laughs and stories around the RVs. With all that said, I have one memory from my time spent at the fair that comes across my mind far more frequently than the positive ones. The fair was going to be ending in a few days, and I would be heading back to school as previously mentioned. My friend Casey and I were having a few drinks with our parents, and were getting pretty tired, probably from all the wine slushies we had during the day. We started to head back to my parents' RV to lay down and relax for the night. The walk wasn't very long, and we were back at the RV in 5 minutes or so. Casey and I talked a little bit about school and what we were excited to go back to and what we were anxious about for the coming year. The next thing I remember was waking up thinking I heard a scratch or a scratching sound against the RV. Casey was snoring pretty loudly, so I figured that maybe that was what woke me up. I closed my eyes trying to go back to sleep, and as I started dozing off, I heard something again. This time it sounded like a whisper or very quiet mumbling. My eyes shot open, wondering if it was our parents coming back or if I was just hearing things. The windows of the camper weren't typically open, but I usually asked my dad to open them during the day in case it got extremely hot. I quieted my breathing to try and focus on what was being said outside. After a few moments of intense listening, I heard someone right outside the window whispering, "His eyes are open. He sees you. He sees all of you." And then just repeating "his eyes are open" over and over, mixing in something slightly different every few seconds. The voice was wispy, like it was being done to mimic a snake or whisper in a louder fashion. I immediately lowered the brightness on my phone and texted my dad to come back right away. He arrived, slightly intoxicated, a few minutes later to ask what was wrong. I told him what had happened, and he said it was probably just a bad dream or something. Casey seemed unaffected as well and went back to her camper to sleep for the rest of the night. I couldn't sleep at all for the rest of the night and made my dad close the windows to make me a little more comfortable. The next morning I got up early due to the lack of sleep and was going to head over to the cows to give them food and set up their... Oops. Mistake number 1. Who's going to be in charge of mistake making or counting? What is red door, yellow door? I don't know. I've never heard of that. Nate Dogg says, dude, you make me paranoid when I hear these. Like I was up 2 nights because I couldn't go to bed. Oh, man. Well, hopefully we will decondition you to the fear and soon you will just use it to fall asleep. Nate Dogg says, can you talk without the mic for a little after this story? I want to hear your real voice. Oh, this is pretty much the real voice that you're going to hear, I guess. But very close to your ear. Yes. All the little devils are proud of hell, Joel. I guess I would be proud of a trash heap, too, if I was a rat. Just kidding. The next morning I got up early due to the lack of sleep and was going to head over to the cows to give them some food and set up there for the day. The day was pretty uneventful, and the memory from the previous night actually started to fade, and I was able to relax for a little while. As the sunset started setting in, I got a little more anxious and hoped that I wouldn't experience anything out of the ordinary for the remainder of the evening. I decided to make it an early night as the next morning would pack... Oops. I decided to make it an early night as the next morning we would pack everything up and get ready to leave and head home. I didn't feel very tired once I got back to the camper, but quickly felt my eyes getting heavy as I strolled through Reddit on my phone. Similar to the previous night, I was awoken by a sound coming from outside. It sounded like something had bounced off one of the windows. Honestly, it sounded like a bird flew directly into the RV. Fortunately, my dad seemed to hear it as well and said that if he heard the same noise, and my dad threw... Oops. My bad. Fortunately... And said that... Oh, okay. I skipped a line there, my bad. LeBras says, I'm high and eating chips and listening to this. Pretty good night. Hell yeah, that sounds amazing. Get comfy. Fortunately, my dad seemed to hear it as well and said that if he heard anything else, he would go outside and see what was going on. About 15 minutes later, we heard the same noise and my dad threw his sweatshirt on and went outside. Me, both terrified and wanting to know what was going on, followed him to the doorway. He didn't leave the RV. Once my dad got outside, he immediately stopped in his tracks. There was a man standing directly next to our camper. He had a hood over his head and had the most yellow, crooked smile I'd ever seen. That disturbing mix of yellow teeth and a demented grin will forever be burned into my brain. As soon as my dad realized I was in the doorway, he yelled for me to go back in and close the door. I did what he said, and about 2 minutes later, my dad said that he was calling the police as the guy began to ran off. He wasn't only contacting the police because someone was seemingly trespassing at the fair, but we also had damage to our RV. It had paint on it. Red paint with an eyeball drawn and something written in the same red paint. He's here. He's watching, is what it said. There was also deep scratches on the backside of the RV that looked a little too deep to have been done with keys. During the commotion, most people were up and outside, and we discovered that 5 other campers had similar writing on them. They were spaced out in the parking area and were seemingly done at random. We decided to pack up and leave first thing the next morning after filing a report for the damages done to the RV. We hadn't really discussed as a family since it happened, and the only time I have been to the state fair since then was to meet up with a friend for a few drinks. Whenever this memory pops back into my head, I feel a sense of anxiety and hope that nothing this creepy happens to me again. Some crazy bastard at the fair. Big Daddy Becca. Oh, is Jensen here? Hey, Jensen. Hey, friends. Hey, friends. Hey, friends. Oh, shit. Is Gothic still here? I'm like, Gothic, do you ever stream anything at all? Re-lube the lips. All my friends think I'm crazy for listening to your channel, but to me it's like an adrenaline rush because I love scary stories. That's awesome. I was telling somebody about the gym. They had asked him, we had just met, so I was telling him about my life. And he was like, I could never do that because I pretty much work out in the field by myself on like an oil rig as a engineer type. And, but they do drive a lot, so, but at the same time, I think they would not in the mood to be completely paranoid before being completely by themselves. Weston streams his cummies. That's good to know. Just an endless stream, 24-hour stream. Gotta have the lip lube. You cannot forget it. I'm telling you, if you've ever narrated, having some form of like lip, like Vaseline. Well, first off, in my opinion, I use Aquifer, and this is not sponsored, by the way. It's Aquifer Healing Ointment, Advanced Therapy. It's on a white container with a blue lid. And, it's great for literally everything. Like if you have cuts, or just something that needs healing on your body, like, during the winter months, especially if your lips get chapped, they're amazing. Because it's not, I don't know, Burt's Bees is good, sure, but like, Burt's Bees like disappears and I don't know about you guys, but I don't know if my lips just like just suck up Burt's Bees. They're just like, yes, give us the honeydew or whatever the fuck it's made out of. But like with anything that's like Vaseline based, it like actually sticks around for a while, and it's really nice. So like when you're narrating, sometimes you just all the little things that can trip you up while you're narrating, such as your actual lips like getting stuck together. As not like completely stuck together like they're zip tied or anything like that, but just like tripping over each other like chapped lips. Yeah. Can it heal my deep inner pain? Yes, it's actually perfect for existential crisis. That's why I'm always so chipper. All of your deep fears transcend from your lips. It's an old Chinese wisdom there. A-Dub says, that's what you use for tattoos when the soap and water phase is over. Hell yeah, dude. It's, tattoos. What kind of tattoos you got, A-Dubs? I'd like to know. Besides the tramp stamps. Yeah, you don't want to narrate with chapped lips. No way, Jose. She don't use jelly or her sleeve. She uses tangerines. Ballistics is a little safer. A lifesaver. Okay, yeah. I remember seeing this meme like years ago, where there was like this one girl. They just like showed a series of pictures, probably like 50 pictures, and in every picture, she was like a teen girl or something, and she just like had the Ballistex, or basically that yellow and red bottle of lip balm something, just constantly with her everywhere she went, and like it would zoom in on it, like in case you missed it. It was like a Where's Waldo, where's her Blistex, And I always thought that was a pretty funny one, just the way they presented it, but also pondering to myself the constant need for that. Yeah. Actually, once I find my bestest friend, and my one butt cheek says let's, and then theirs will say read on their left butt cheek, and we'll smush them together. You guys ever? I don't know if you guys ever seen Tenacious D, where he's like, I've always wondered what this ass mark means. Mine says to knock. He's like, oh, mine, I have ass mark too. It says shis D. And then they like smush their butt cheeks together. It's like the funny. Honestly, if you haven't seen Tenacious D in the Pick of Destiny, it's So fucking funny, dude. It's also funny that the guys from Tenacious D like have like told their that like story. I feel like in so many different ways over and over. Oh, bringing sexy back. Yeah, the flaming lips are amazing. The flaming chap lips. Cooper, thanks. Yeah, blame it on George or blame it on Jorge, however you choose to pronounce that. Is he's a fan? I love George. Yeah, we are good buddies in the Overwatch realm, though I think Overwatch has torn me apart from many people more so than bring us together. But I've about a year ago today, I was in California for VidCon, hanging out with Mr. Jorge and that creepy reading. And those are some fine fellas, I'll tell you what. Some stand-up folk. Yeah, Jensen, get those cock push-ups in. I was never a big fan of the fair. It was always overcrowded, hot, and not really my cup of tea. However, I would still go to the New York State Fair each year to get a slice of Sicilian pizza from my favorite pizza stand. Only got the slice once a year at the fair, and to visit my dad who would work the fair. My dad always took 2 weeks vacation from his real job to work at the fair each year. Yeah, weird, I know. This story revolves around the last time I attended the NYS fair. I was there on a Thursday night with 4 to 5 friends, and we decided to do a few rides and do some of the smaller attractions. We started with the House of Horrors that advertised the world's largest rat. Clearly just another animal that they were advertising as a rat. I honestly don't understand what else was in there. Maybe the snake lady and some fake body parts in jars. Anyways, next we decided to go into the fun house. The lady that took our tickets seemed to be way too into her job at the attraction. She was dressed the part and sure gave off the creepy vibe you would expect for a fun house. She had a long black cloak with a large hood attached, and her facial features reminded me of a witch even though she wasn't wearing any prosthetics. We moved through the house pretty fast, but got a little caught up inside the mirror maze. We got separated slightly, but I was staying pretty close to Alex, so I wouldn't be separated from the group entirely. As we were maneuvering our way around the maze, I could have sworn that I saw the lady from the start of the funhouse behind one of the mirrors. I pointed it out to Alex, and she thought I was just trying to scare her and laughed it off. We eventually made our way to the exit and decided we wanted to go to the haunted house ride. The haunted house. A booga wooga wooga, the haunted house. We eventually made our way to the exit and decided we wanted to go to the haunted house ride next. As we were leaving the funhouse, the same lady that was at the entrance was at the exit. She stared at all of us as we left and didn't say a word. She had a scowl on her face like we had done something to make her mad. After she saw me, her expression changed to a wide grin. She slightly reached out for my arm and said, "Your aroma is intoxicating." Thoroughly freaked out and borderline angry that some random person was grabbing my arm, I just pulled away and asked my friends if they saw that. They all joked that she probably had a crush on me and said that I should go back and get her number. After a decent wait, we made it on to the haunted house ride. I asked Alex if she would sit with me, and she obliged. The house, as full of animatronic jump scares that probably wouldn't even scare elementary school kids, however... I read that wrong. The house was full of animatronic jump scares that probably wouldn't even scare elementary school kids. However, I always did enjoy these types of rides as they reminded me of the Haunted Mansion at Disney. About halfway through the ride, our car kind of started going backward and forward and eventually came to a complete stop. There was an announcement that the ride was malfunctioning, and that when the bar was raised, we should safely exit the vehicle and slowly and safely make our way towards the exit. We got out of the car and started to make our way towards the exit. The animatronic figures were no longer moving or popping out, so I took time to walk up to a few of them to see what they looked like up close. They were mostly what I expected. Dirty, dingy, and odd-looking. About 50 to 60 feet ahead, there was a black, cloaked figure. I told Alex I wanted to see if the figure was attached to a pole and would shoot out and expose a creepy face under the hood. When I ran up to the hooded figure, I got real close to see if I could move the hood to see what was underneath. To my absolute shock and horror, there was a person underneath the hood, just standing there. Even worse, it was the same hooded woman from the funhouse. She pushed her hood back slightly and said, "I followed you. I followed the scent." Wondering if I should run or call this person out, I went with the latter and asked her, "What's your problem?" in a stern tone. She just stared at me and didn't respond. Alex then caught up to me and realized what was going on and tried to pull me away to the exit. Sorry. Yeah, giving you some Five Nights at Freddy's vibes. This is the bite of 87, bro. The bite of 2020. Alex then caught up to me and realized what was going on and tried to pull me away to the exit. The woman then grabbed my arm for the second time, this time sinking her nails into my skin. As I pulled away, I could feel that her hand was still dug in. By the time I exited, looked at my arm, there was small slits of skin missing and blood beginning to pool where the skin used to be. My friends were now extremely scared and upset, frantically looking around for someone to help us. I asked them to stop and to just find me a bathroom so I could wash off my arm with some soap and water. I didn't go to the police office at the fair or make any formal report. I honestly just wanted to move on and not think about that psycho that followed me around for about half that night. And I still think back on this and wonder if that was the right choice. Should I have documented some type of formal complaint? I mean, it did seem like she worked at the attractions, and could she possibly have repeated this behavior to someone else? I still tend to think about this event, especially as we approach the summer months. I decided to write about it now, as NYS just announced that the fair would be closed this year for the first time ever. So to the creepy, stalker, scratching witch lady, I'm thankful I won't have to see you again. I remember hearing when I went to a haunted place or something, I think it was somewhere across the border in Canada, possibly in Niagara Falls area. There was some sort of haunted house there. Really had no desire to go in. Also, I'm a big puss, but we saw that there was some sort of like scary ride attraction that was in, where was it? Tennessee, maybe? I'm not really sure. But basically, you could, apparently, if you could spend an entire, like, 10 hours or some crazy amount of time in this particular haunted house, you could make, like, 10 grand or something crazy like that. But whenever I saw some of the videos of what they were doing, it was literally, like, so disgusting. Like, I don't know. The people were just, like, you sign a waiver, and these people, it's not that they can do anything they want to. It was a little bit like of a fear factor type situation, but ew, I saw like the one dude was like vomiting beans or some shit like directly on this person's face, and in like this sort of montage of insane shit that they were doing at it. And I was just like, that's fucking disgusting, dude. Like, why? Like, and the person was almost like grabbing their face too, like almost to keep their eyes open and shit. And I'm just like, dude, that could, like, you get like a serious infection from someone's like fucking disgusting bullshit. I guess it would probably be shut down now with COVID-19. What's it, what'd you say, Mikami Manor, dude? Literal torture. Yeah, it would. Yeah, I mean, it seems like it. I feel like I would have PTSD after that bullshit. The guy writes down your worst fears and puts you through it. Oh, fuck that. Yeah, I mean, 10 grand would be dope, but honestly, I feel like you might end up needing that from the hospital bills just from getting sick from whatever bullshit. Scare Theater and Lazy made videos about that place. Oh, interesting. I'll have to check that out, honestly. Anyone who wants a scary ride, look up the Cinderella Castle Mystery Ride in Disney Tokyo. Ah. Interesting, interesting. They would make me twerk, yeah. That definitely would get me twerking pretty hard. Just twerking them the whole time. That would be kind of sweet if you could just mock them the entire time. I think they're being sued, or they've been sued or being sued. I mean, I would hope so. I mean, because you imagine like the fucked up people that work there. Just like the mindset that they have to get in. I don't know, that they have to get into. You know what I mean? And some of the shit that they would think to do to you is, I don't know. It especially could be really bad for a girl, I feel like, if there's just a bunch of random groupers out there. Wait, there was a person who completed it, an ex-military, but he didn't get the 10 grand. What the fuck, dude? I figured, dude. I figured they would, like, not be able to hold their end of the deal, which is some stupid clause that they basically make you go to court for the money or something like that. Yeah, but refried bean vomit does sound pretty good, though. Probably worth 10 grand. I want to preface this story with the old saying that you can never really judge a book by its cover. I still haven't fully recovered from the events that took place on this late summer evening several years ago. As time goes on, the mental scars fade away, but it's an experience that I will live with for the rest of my life. During the events of this story, I lived in a fairly large farmhouse in the middle of nowhere. It was an area with little to no traffic or commuters. That is, until the last 2 weeks of the summer. Every year, my town is the host for the annual fair. To be more specific, the location is just down the road from my farmhouse. I usually don't mind because I'm up late most nights and I never really had any I never really had any... Maya B with the 5 buckaroos says, have a good night, man. Don't mind negative comments too much. Most of us love you and your amazing content. Thank you, Maya. Honestly, that does make me feel really good. You know, some of you guys are so incredibly positive, and pretty much all of you guys are that are here, and I really appreciate that. And we're almost at 600 people, which is pretty baller. Pretty ballerino. Mooney, Sarah with the 2 says, first time in live and joined Discord today. Oh, nice, nice. It's always good to see new people in Discord. Feel free to kick off your shoes and get comfy. Thank you for the 2. What's the Discord? Yeah, maybe someone can link that there for you. I don't usually mind because I am up late most nights and I never really had any negative experiences in regards to people visiting the fair. During this 2-week period, it's a lot of loud music, traffic, either by car or some local foot traffic, fireworks, and lights from the fairgrounds. Most nights I usually just sit outside listening to music and watch the people walk to and from their cars that are parked in a lot a couple of 100 yards or so from my property. Typical of most fairs, parking fills fast, and people essentially try to park in restricted areas that are closed to my... Typical of most fairs, parking fills fast, and people essentially try to park in restricted areas that are close to my house or my neighbor's properties. Unfortunately, it is not uncommon every few years to have a drunk patron or 2 stumble towards my property. They're almost always homeless and... Oh. 1 second. My roommate's taking a shower. I have to wait for that to end before I can continue reading because it gets picked up on my mic. Bread Moth with the 2 says, hit the like button and give. And Joel, give us a loud slurp. Slurpy derpy. Yes, guys, please hit that like button if you haven't already. Share this out with your family and friends and grandma. Ooh yeah. How do you like that slurp bread muff? It's right in the old Tingle factory. You want me to join him in the shower? That'd be the honestly that would probably scar him for life. Bonked bont, honked oof. Bonked bot honked. Barge in on him, force him to participate in the stream. Hey, we're here to do an interview. He's like, what? What the fuck? He's got like soap in his eyes. What's going on? Oh my god. What type of mic do I use? Is it good to sing in, like a studio mic? You might be able to look that up. I don't know. It's called an AKG C214, at least for the stream. But then for recording, I use more of a field microphone, which is an H4n handy recorder from Zoom. And that's, I don't know if you want to sing into the handy recorder, but I think this one you can sing into. Oh, oh, ooh, woo. Ooh, fucking woo woo. What inspired me to start narrating? Well, I initially wanted to start a YouTube channel. My roommates actually did comedy videos, so I thought I had some experience with microphones, so I thought maybe a very unique idea would be reading stuff, like reading Wikipedia pages, and I just thought the content would be easier to put out, you know what I mean? And I thought, like, I just wanted to get my foot in the door on YouTube, making and create something. And then I stumbled across the creepypasta community, and I was like, holy shit, this is exactly what I'm doing, but, like, these guys seem to be, like, popular, you know? And I wanted to, I wanted to actually be successful with it and stuff, like, or just at least go in the direction of success, you know? And then it took off, you know? Yeah, Fry wants everybody to go follow my meme page on Instagram called @hornycomputer. You shan't be disappointed. Though I do kind of have a mild obsession with anime memes. Not like cringe ones, but just ones that include like anime shit. I don't know what it is about anime girls, but can't resist them. I can't read yet. I'm waiting for my roommate to get out of the shower. It's because it'll pick up on my mic. You can't hear it, but my recording mic will pick it up, and it's kind of like, it's not going to be optimal quality. Never going to give you up. Never going to let you down. Never going to run around and... Oh, hentai memes. Yes. My apologies. There's a big difference. Horny Computer's a great thing and deserves all the love. Thank you. That's going to be the next big move for me, is breaking into the world of memes. Speaking of those older times, I went on a 2016 vid from another narrator and saw you complimenting the thumbnail in the comments, Jules. That's cool. Yeah, I sometimes get like notifications for comments I've left on shit from like 4 years ago as Let's Read, and people are like, what the hell are you doing here? I love your videos. You want your own hentai girl and she would sing. Osaka. America cheeseburger. Golden, your voice. Thank you. Send your memes. Yeah, send your memes on the Let's Read Discord. We got a whole area called Memes Town. And I need the tippitiest top tier memes. Highest quality, grade A. No government cheese through there, baby. We want the real deal. We want that Gouda shit. And I think the one thing that my meme page does that some meme pages don't really do, sometimes meme pages will almost like inundate your feed with like, too many posts. But since I get so many memes but they're all so good, I just post them on the story. And I don't know, I find like going through content that's on your story like way more convenient because you can just like tap. And in my mind, it's kind of feels like you're going through like a meme compilation, like kind of like those meme compilations on YouTube. But if you don't like the one you're watching, you can just skip to the next one. So in some ways, it's kind of like wildly badass, you know what I mean? I can't. Okay, I think he's actually done in the shower here. Do I have tentacles? I should, honestly. I feel like at this point in my life I've posted so many hentai related memes that, you know, you kind of should earn those after a point of proving yourself on those websites. Do some Nicolas Cage stories. Holy shit. That would be hilarious. We only... Oh, fuck! Oh my god, those big donos, they sneak up on me. Carrie with the 50 Canadian beaver bucks says, Joel, you're the best. Thank you, Carrie. Holy shit, she's back. She's ready to make me my butt cheeks clap. I've got a 13-inch tentacle, yes. It's growing every day. Carrie, thank you so much for the 50. It's... Give me some energy here, baby. It's throwing me into overdrive here. So thank you. Thank you, Carrie. No more, enough hentai talk, right? Unless that was what it's for. I'm not really sure. Oh yeah, good point about the submissions there, Gothic Rose. Yeah, if you guys have stories, you can click that link there, either in the description or on the chat. It's www.reddit.com/r/letsreadofficial is my official subreddit where you can submit stories. You can also send them into letsreadsubmissions@gmail.com, which is where a lot of people do that as well. But yeah, I'm going to be doing some subscriber stories here coming up, so be sure to get yours in as soon as possible. Summer Daisy Love. You almost said butthole. I know. I was so close. Next time, I promise I'll say it. Christian, thank you. Glad you're here. Just gonna lube up the lips again. Angela's gonna paint her nails while we read. Anybody else painting their nails? I'm painting my face with this lube. You got a doppelganger story, Jesus Christ. Is it another Jesus Christ? Someone pretending? A poser? A false prophet? Is that not our Lord and Savior? Cheyenne Dory Bob with the 5 says that older man that made the weird turtle noise made me cringe so hard and then almost fall out of bed laughing. Thanks, man. Wait. Older man that made the weird turtle noise. Oh, yeah, he was drinking fucking... He was drinking and he made like an anime like, ah! Like instead of like, ah, he made like a, ah! That was fucking funny as hell. Cooking, drawing, giving myself a tattoo. Alright. Hope that doesn't hurt. You ever play video games? I do. I play a lot of Overwatch, and I hate it. I hate all video games. I actually don't. I really want to get into, like, you know, games that I love, or at least just, like, really peacefully enjoy. I enjoy indie games, probably the most. Like Little Nightmares, Ori and the Blind Forest, Fez, a lot of those, like, side-scrolling games. Hyper Light Drifter was dope as fuck. I know, like, all, like, it might sound kind of, like, linear or whatever. 666 is coming, that's true. Nero hath arrived. But, yeah, if you guys have any suggestions for any good, like, badass, just kind of, like, single-player games or whatever. Second Life, lol, that's funny. As I just think of Dwight playing his Second Life. Taking a break from the Wayfair rabbit hole. Yes, I've heard about that. Is there any credence to those rumors? As soon as I typed it into Google, of course, the first thing you get, like, is like, no, idiots. There's no, you know, like, don't you love, like, news articles that, like, disparage pretty much everything that could possibly be interesting as just a dumb conspiracy theory? No, dum-dums. Wayfair is not hiding kids in cabinets and selling them for 10 grand, idiots. Like, it's like as if they, like, shame you for potentially, like, asking questions, you know what I mean? Like, and pardon me for, you know, one of the most interesting stories I've heard all day, you know, and taking an eye to that, but If anybody, I don't, obviously I don't give it any credence or whatever, but at the same time, it's, I'm like, holy fuck, this is weird. The whole way, what is it, Wayfair bullshit. I mean, it's weird to say the least. Joel, did you ever get it to Axiom Verge or Hollow Knight or Shovel Knight? I played Axiom Verge 2 nights ago, and I just got mad because, like, I don't know, the gameplay itself, like, didn't really excite me too much, but, like, as soon as I got into one room and got destroyed, and then I had to go all the way to the back to the beginning, I was just like, why? And it was just like I had lost a lot of, like, mental momentum, per se. Alex, what's up, bro? With the 2 says, I highly recommend the Cat Lady and Downfall. Okay, how have I not heard of these? Downfall sounds familiar. Breadmoth with the 5 says, as Gore Vidal put it, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, I am a conspiracy analyst. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know why people aren't open-minded to things, At least, if anything, it creates, like, a nice little science fiction narrative, or, like, sort of out there narrative that you can follow in real life. Really, that's all the news is for some of us, is just stories. Venus Flytrap with the 2 says, what about RPGs? I do like RPGs. Like, obviously, I love Skyrim and all that kind of stuff. And I didn't get very far in The Witcher. That was hard as hell. And I don't know what it is about me and, like, Dark Souls type difficult games. Not saying that The Witcher is that hard, but sometimes I just want to, like, have a nice little progression and not be interrupted. Have I played Firewatch? I've heard of it and I've seen it, but I don't think I actually given it a full playthrough. Cat Lady and Downfall are both made by the same company. Grossly underrated. Yeah, you'll have to link to me that on Discord or somewhere. Why the donation animation's so delayed. Yeah, so, like, if I played it at, like, a low latency, I noticed that, like, a lot of people say that their stream connection cuts out. So basically, I'm playing it at normal latency, or maintaining a normal latency with you guys. So there's probably about, like, 10 to 20 seconds delay between when you guys type something in and potentially me seeing it, if that makes sense. So, and then, or maybe 10 to 20 seconds delay of you typing it in and then you hearing a response from me, if that makes sense. But so it's basically just to not put as much, like, expectation of, because I don't know if Google, and YouTube has worked out their streaming, like, optimization, I suppose, to the fullest extent. But hopefully we'll get there, and, you won't need, like, a gigabyte internet for literally everything. Or maybe we'll get to gigabyte internet before we even need that, Joel as a toddler with that voice, a little creepy. That would be funny. Rachel Russell with the 10 Aussie bucks says, this one's for Pradeep. Hope I spelled that right. With minus the A and add another E in there, and you got it perfect. But what's so funny is you guys had requested it, and I purchased, along with the fan, which thank you guys obviously for that. I had bought Pradeep 2 of those, like, turbo scratchers that you guys had mentioned, where it's like a middle area is like a scratching floor, and then the surrounding area is like a ball that goes around in a circle that he can mess around with. So in the videos that I watched, it looked like it was just kiddies playing with it, but so I hope Pradeep still has a playful nature to him, which I think he does. So that should hopefully come in the mail pretty soon. And Samuel with the 5 Aussie bucks says, love from Australia. I boink and love you at work right now, and my Monday has gotten well better. Thank you, Samuel. Appreciate that. I hope to be doing some Australian stories here soon with Mr. B. Busta, so keep an eye out for that. I'm just gotta get a recording from him here, hopefully soon. Kate the Great with the 5 says, thanks for relaxing stories to fall asleep to after a hard shift in the ER. Oh my goodness, yeah. Can't imagine how chaotic it's gotta be down there, even when it's not in these crazy times. All right, how many stories today? We got 7 total, and we're just kind of starting story 3 here, but we should be good to go. Unfortunately, it is not uncommon every few years to have a drunk patron or 2 stumble towards my property. They're almost always harmless and end up walking down the street just a few minutes later. As a result of our small town and proximity to the fair from my home, I have a very good relationship with the sheriff. We've become pretty good friends over the years, and his department does an excellent job of keeping everything safe and orderly for the residents who live near the fairgrounds. I've only had to call him maybe once or twice over the years, and it wasn't for anything serious, basically just loitering. Fast forward to the night of the story, and I was sitting outside and watching the fireworks and people leave the fair. The fair closed around 10 p.m., and the fireworks were wrapping up, and you could see people leaving to get to their cars to try and beat the traffic. I was getting ready to go inside for the night when I saw a group of people walking towards my house. They were probably in their probably 20s if I had to guess, and just seemed loud and intoxicated, which certainly wasn't uncommon. The group of people caused no issue and eventually made their way in the right direction and headed to where I assumed their vehicle was parked. Just as I was about to walk inside, at a little bit of a distance, maybe 30 to 40 feet or so, was another woman standing. She seemed very still, just staring from a distance in the dark. She was wearing a bright pink dress and had blonde hair about shoulder length. She broke out of her pause and started moving closer to my property. She eventually got parallel to my front door. She stopped in the middle of the road and turned her entire body to face my house. I was in the house at this time with the lights off, so I crept to one of the windows and stood and stared back for a moment to see if she was going to move on. After about 30 seconds, she turned back to the road and kept walking. It was a little weird, as no one ever really gets that close to my house, but nothing of great concern. I brushed it off as another person who maybe had too much to drink. I got ready for bed and went upstairs to my bedroom to pass out for the night. My bedroom overlooked the front of the house, and I could see the road, and just as I was going to lay down, out my bedroom window, I saw the girl in pink standing in the middle of the road, facing my home for the second time. This is where the anxiety started to kick in, and I began wondering if the person was lost, and maybe got separated from her group. I jumped over to my dresser and called the sheriff to see if they had someone nearby leaving the fair to check and see if this person was all right or needed any help. He didn't answer. Luckily, I had his personal cell, so I sent him a text message just letting him know what was going on. If I didn't hear back in a few minutes, I figured I would just go outside and ask if she was okay. When I looked back out the window, she was gone out of sight. No sooner after I looked out the window, I heard a loud bang downstairs. I jumped from my bedside to the top of the staircase and saw that my front door was open, with nothing but the moonlight shining in. This was weird because I thought I had locked the door. I always lock the door, just a habit. I started to get really concerned and then froze with fear when I heard giggles and the light footprints of running on your toes coming from downstairs. I couldn't believe someone could actually be in my house. Was I hearing things due to the recent adrenaline rush? I tried to sneak down the stairs quietly to make a run for the door, and as I got to the bottom step, I heard in a loud and unnerving voice, "Hey, where do you think you're going?" I turned and got a quick glimpse. It was the girl in pink. She was standing, slightly hunched over, with both hands behind her back. She had a blank stare on her face, but I could hear a low giggle barely audible through her teeth. Still not sure how someone can giggle with that look on their face. I turned immediately and ran out the front door. To my shock and horror, she was right behind me, following me with one arm waving frantically and the other still concealed behind her back. "I'm coming for you," she said with her insidious and terrifying voice. I ran several yards down the road with her right on my tail, trying to gain some distance. Thankfully, by some stroke of luck, a patrol car was moving slowly down the road. This didn't seem to faze this girl at all. We both kept running. The officer got out of the car and tackled the woman to the ground. I'm not sure if it was because I was screaming for help or if the officer had received a message from the sheriff that I asked for someone to come check out a person wandering around my property. My sheriff buddy ended up on the scene shortly thereafter and shared some of the details with me. The young woman could not remember her name and said she had no idea who she was. She did, however, keep telling the cops that she lived at my house and that I was the one that broke into her home. One of the most terrifying aspects of the story is that, still to this day, the woman has no confirmed identity. She had no idea, Okay, make sure I. Yes! JWH 1993 with a 10 is rolling on the floor, laughing. That's pretty funny. Sorry, I was looking at those messages that were deleted. Those, I don't know why they made me laugh, but anyways. Fries with a 5 says, "Hey man, first stream I've caught in about a year. It's been a while and things sure have changed, but I'm happy to be back. Keep up the great work." Thank you, Fries. You're absolutely right about that. It's crazy, but I do appreciate you guys still being able to meet up in the digital world. She had no idea. Whoops, once again I said no idea, sorry. She had no ID when they found her. She didn't know her name, her age, where she was from. All she claimed was that she lived in my house. And from what I understand, she was detained, then given further psychiatric evaluation. It scares the bejeebus out of me that there was no real motive or backstory to this intruder. I think I'm still missing a little bit of closure as to the why. She wasn't drunk. Why did she choose my house? Anyway, if I can say one thing from this experience, it's that always be on guard and make sure you protect yourself first and foremost, because you never know where danger can be lurking. Joel is baby, must protect. Thank you, Alex. Protect the baby. Baby booby. Fearsome, thank you. Or yeah, you guys and Sons, you're keeping track of the mistakios, which if I can keep it under, honestly, if I could ever get through a stream with like 7 stories like this and only made 20 mistakes, that would be impressive. Purely impressive. Okay, story foe. Oh, Gothic, thank you for the reminder. Yeah, if you guys want to get early access, you can get that on Patreon. On that there Patreon, it's only $1 a month. 12 mistakes now. Can I make only 8 mistakes in the span of 4 stories? Probably not. Happy accidents. Do one with 0 mistakes. Okay. Okay, I think I can do this one. Last year was the very first and last time I'll ever go on a blind date. At the time of this story, I had recently got out of a very long-term relationship and just starting to get out there and meet some new people. Meeting new people has always been difficult for me, as I'm on the shy side and really don't like putting myself out there. I was set up with a man named John from a coworker, and that is John, not the John. He made that very clear from the start. We exchanged numbers through our mutual friend and started to text each other. At first, things seemed to go very well. He seemed normal, but again, we hadn't met and hadn't really had many in-depth conversations. After about a week of texting, we decided to go on a date to our local fair. People from all over the state drive and even stay at the fair. It's a pretty big gathering with thousands of people attending every year. I figured that if this guy is a lunatic, at least I can run and scream and there will be tons of people to get away from him. I think everyone who meets someone usually does so in a public setting, right? The day finally came, and he surprisingly looked exactly like his pictures that I stalked on social media. He was on the taller side, definitely over 6 feet, muscular build, dark black hair with dark eyes. The night started out fine, other than a few weird topics he brought up in conversation, but I really didn't care too much because I was socially awkward and usually couldn't find much to say when meeting new people. We got food together and I paid for my portion, which I don't mind because I am an independent person. Around 9:30 p.m., it was almost completely dark. He asked me if I wanted to ride the giant Ferris wheel. It actually sounded nice, and I was looking forward to it, and thought, hey, it could be kind of romantic for a first date. This was one of those huge Ferris wheels that overlooked the entire fairgrounds, and being that it was dark, you could see all the lights from up above. We got in line, and it was a pretty long wait, but he talked almost the entire time, which was fine with me because it made me seem less awkward as I just listened and got to know him a little better. The only thing that seemed a little off was that he kept exchanging this weird glance with the couple behind us in line. After doing this several times, it was more than coincidence, so I asked him if everything was okay. He leaned down to me and basically told me that he thought he may recognize the guy, but wasn't too sure, but should probably avoid staring. Fuck! Oh, I only messed up because the word was written fucking wrong. My bad. He's okay, so it says, but I. Fuck. He says, but should what the hell? He leaned down to me and basically told me that he thought he may recognize the guy, but was not too sure, but should probably avoid starting at thing. Ah, it's probably starting a thing. Fuck. And I said at thing because it was spelled AT, so. Damn, that got me in the bananas. Ron with a 5 says, hello, friend. Slightly tipsy and excited for some scary stories. Hope you're well. Thank you, Ron. Thank you for the 5. Hope you are well as well. Sure, it's the word's fault. I think it was written in Mandarin, guys. I don't think you understand. They're switching back and forth between languages, and I'm just like translating on the fly. Alex says, alright, I'm feeling wholesome right now. I love how every time I come here in the stream, I instantly feel better. I haven't been feeling the best lately, so thank you all and Joseph for making me smile. You're welcome, my good friend, Alex, head moderator. Thank you for being here. Everyone give him kisses. He leaned down to me and basically told me that he thought he may recognize the guy but wasn't too sure, but should probably avoid starting a thing. Seemed like a legit story, so I really didn't pay any more attention to the couple. That is until we're about to board the Ferris wheel. As we got into the small shuttle, John sat next to me, and the attendant let the other couple on with us. I thought that was kind of weird, and maybe you had to go in groups of 4 due to the long line. We started our ascension up the wheel, and for the first time all night, John was quiet. He was actually just staring down at his feet. But the worst part was the couple sitting across from us. They just sat there quietly staring daggers at me. I tried making conversation with John, but he just kind of shrugged me off and stared off the side of the shuttle. We finally made it to the top of the ride, and we stopped briefly up there. My first emotion was awe because of the beautiful view, but when I turned back around to John, and that feeling of excitement turned quickly to fear. John was staring at me with a half-open smile, and his dark eyes looking down at me. I looked across from me, and the couple was doing the same thing. John started singing a strange song that I didn't recognize, and the couple joined in with him. He just kept simping. He's about to sing the song of simps. Say that 7 times fast. Emily says, I want to hear Joel talk like an advertisement man. You want me to? Real quick? Here, okay. As we got into the small shuttle, John sat next to me, and the attendant let the other couple on with us. I thought that was kind of weird, but maybe you had to go in groups of 4 due to the long line. We started our ascension up the wheel, and for the first time all night, John was quiet. He was actually just staring down at his feet. But the worst part was that the couple sitting across from us, they just sat there staring quietly, daggers directly at me. Boom. You can actually probably hear my advertisement voice when I do sponsorships, but also on the podcast. You'll never simp again. Give us your best Don Draper, Joel. Who the hell's Don Draper? Apologize. Let me look him up. Don Draper. Oh. John Hamm. I see. John Hamm. I actually don't know the many loves of Don Draper. Well, we could listen to it real quick just to hear his voice.
What you call love was invented by guys like me to sell nylons.
I don't know if I can hit that tone. I can't feel it in my throat. What you call love is invented by guys like me Invented by guys like me. He does. I mean, he has like a manly voice, obviously, but I just don't know if I can hit the same tone as what you call love. I sound like a kid when I do it. What you call love is invented by guys like me. I don't fucking know. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. Mr. Quibbs with the 14 Canadian Beaver Bucks says, talk like creeps. Like the people creeps? Or you mean Mr. Creeps? Mr. Creeps. I don't even remember what Mr. Creeps sounds like, to be honest. When I was 5 years old. You guys ever listen to Mr. Creeps? He puts out a lot of content.
Do you see the man in the moon?
Do you see the man in the moon?
My older sister asked me. I stalled. Looking through the telescope.
Looking through the telescope. Kind of sounds like a young boy. Not like a young boy, but like a 18 to 20 year old. I don't know how old he is, but do you wonder how deep Joe's voice can go? You wonder how deep Joe's voice can go. Sam Gonzalez with the $2 says, hi Joe, I'm so happy I could make it to this live. Well, you are more than welcome, Sam, so thank you for being here and thank you for the 2. Nasally voice. I do have a bit of a nasally voice when I'm talking normally, but then I break into my tones down here. Do anime grunting.
Hey, listen.
Dark Somnium. Let's see. Real quick. Well, Dark Somnium will be the last one. I'll keep reading because I kind of want to hear what happens with this this Ferris wheel chick. Okay.
I often think about the last summer I stayed with Uncle Johnny.
I often think about the last summer I stayed with Uncle Johnny. I don't know. To be honest, I don't know if I can hit it.
We made quite the pair.
We made quite the pair. Sounds like anime pooping. That's kind of my specialty. You can hear me scratch my balls. You must have it turned all the way up. All the way up. Joel Monkey. I am a monkey. This fan is amazing, though. Has revolutionized my narration capabilities. So thank you for whoever gave that idea. Uncle Johnny sounds creepy. I do like Mr. Creeps, and I do like Dark Somnium. Dark Somnium actually is a very talented musician as well. If you ever go to the Dark Somnium's channel, and definitely subscribe to him. He also has like Dark Somnium like music or something like that. Yeah, Somnium Music is his channel, and a lot of the music he puts out on there is like top tier stuff, and he has all sorts of different stuff on there. Anth A with the $2 says, I'd love if you could do a G-Man voice. Oh yes. Hello, Mr. Freeman, Mr. Yeah, let me listen to him real quick. I love the G-Man. Dude, I really want to play Half-Life Alyx, but I like don't even know how to like begin when it comes to I have no idea how to begin when it comes to getting like VR set up and stuff like that. Oh, I forgot.
Gordon.
Wonder if he still has the same voice in number 2.
I think that's finally taken.
Oh.
As if you only just arrived,
Oh wait, yeah, sorry.
rather than offer you the illusion of
Rather than offer you the illusion that you are in fact stuck here, Mr. Freeman. Half-Life Alyx E. Yeah, true. Can you do Steve Blum? He did the Toonami commercials. Oh, is that the guy who was like the short little alien man? Honestly, I don't really consider any of my impressions good. Like, maybe hopefully some of you enjoy it. Oh, Steve Blum talking voices part 1. It's Steve Blum.
Let's get this over with.
Okay.
I
I'm going to enjoy this.
Nice. He's got quite the range. I'm going to enjoy this. Sounded like Snape. Mr. Freeman. I'm old Greg. Yeah, sounds more like old Greg. Bailey's how, yeah, I'm old Greg. Yeah, I don't know if I'm definitely an impressions guy, to be honest. I feel like if I were to have any hypothetical success within the realm of entertainment, it would have to be like just making up voices, because my ability to replicate them is not so well. Just depends on them, I suppose, if they're in my ability range, I suppose. I suppose. And Lloyd Watson with the one buckaroo. Thank you, Lloyd. I've always enjoyed the name Lloyd. I don't know why. Maybe the fact that it has two L's is kind of badass. Harry Potter. Harry Potter. Hello, Harry Potter. Harry Potter. Do a girl's voice. Do a girl's voice. Do an old Greg girl's voice. Okay, nice. Yeah, that's encouraging, Hannah. I appreciate that. Can I do Stewie? I'm not sure about that. Not very good. Oh, hello, fat man. Brian. What do you get when you combined chocolate and peanut butter, Brian? Is that called Races? Roosies? Rosus? Rosus? Reese's? Ah, yes, Reese's. I love it. Delicious. Fantastic combination. John started singing a strange song that I didn't recognize, and the couple joined in with him. He just kept singing the same line over and over again. Coming to get you, coming to get you. In the most haunting melody you could ever imagine. Now I realize this may sound more weird than scary, but imagine yourself being stuck in the sky with 3 people you don't know, all of them staring at you, and singing this weird song. I was not having any of this at all, so I did the only thing I could think of doing, and that was scream. Well, this was a mistake, because the 3 other passengers decided to scream alongside of me and followed the screaming with laughter. So everyone around me probably figured we were goofing off at the top of the ride. Genuine panic ensued. I kept trying to just get some words out, but I was so uneasy I couldn't even speak. Finally, I had the great idea to try and call one of my friends from the top of the Ferris wheel, and as I pulled out my phone, John snatched it right from my hands. Finally, I formed a complete sentence and said in my terrified voice, "John, what are you doing? You're scaring me." He laughed and responded in a sinister voice, "I'm just getting you ready for when he shows up." This strange and haunting sentence was followed by cheering and laughter from the couple across from me. I tried yelling to the ground, but there was so much noise from the fair music that my voice was being completely drowned out. Again, in unison, the group started to say, in almost a chant now, "He's coming to get you. He's coming to get you. Do not be afraid, for he is coming to get you." I started to cry and freak out. After only a few minutes, which seemed like forever, the ride started up again, and we made our descent to the bottom of the wheel. Once we got several feet from the bottom of the ride, paused again, but I didn't care. I jumped from the shuttle and was greeted with loads of gas from the people still in line. Instead of shouting for help, I just ran. It is easy to say what you would do in a situation like that, but my brain was saying to just get out of there and run. I ran all the way to the main entrance and alerted an officer at the door as to what had just happened. He did allow me to use a phone to call a friend to come and pick me up. Thankfully, she was there in just minutes, and as I ran to her car, as I got into the car, I saw John alongside with a couple sitting on a bench near the main entrance. But even more terrifying was that there was only... Thankfully, she was... Donald Kreppel with a 5 says, that's a good stewie. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Or, thank you. Brian. Thank you. No, I can't even do it anymore. I lost it.
Hey, listen.
Hello, fat man. Hello, fat man. Fatman. Unique New York. Now I sound like a little bit stupid. Do you ever like have a voice and then you just like completely lose it? Bridget Jones with the 2 says, happy birthday, Joel. Well, that's, yeah. Was a little while ago, but thank you. Thank you. Better late than never. Another drunk stream. Oh, man. Cool whip. Oh, okay. Cool whip. Whip. Whip cool? No. Cool whip. Oh, Gothic's almost your... Oh, your birthday's next Friday. Nice. Well, that's perfectly timed up with the baby. Only 323 likes. Geez, guy. No, that's a good point, Bread Moth. Everybody click that like button if you got a chance. Fucking smash that bitch. Holy shit. And share this stream out, my dudes. You finished 90 Day Fiancé, and I'm back. What'd I miss? Just some weirdos, man. So many weirdos. Not in the chat, but in these stories. Holy hey. Well, I don't know. Maybe some. Yo, shout out to Riley Reed. Is she in the chat? Is Riley Reed in the chat tonight? Thankfully, she was there in just minutes, and I ran to her car. As I got into the car, I saw John, alongside the couple sitting on a bench near the main entrance. But even more terrifying was that they were with another person, a very tall figure dressed in dark brown holding a cane. All I kept thinking about was that they kept saying... All I kept thinking about was what they kept saying on the ride about he is coming. Was this the man that they were referring to this entire time? I got home and reported that he stole my phone and gave the cop all of John's information, but John seemed to vanish after that night. The number from his phone was deactivated. My phone was returned after it was found in the lost and found at the fair, and my friend who introduced us said that he too lost all contact with him. It was as if this John fell off the face of the earth. My friend apologized up and down for weeks, and then... I'm sorry. My friend apologized up and down for weeks that he had set me up with John and that I had that experience. He even started to question whether this was just all some sort of elaborate YouTube prank. I honestly, in many ways, kind of hoped that it was, even if it is wildly sadistic.
Hey, listen.
It took months for me to get out there again and to try and go on another date. And unfortunately, this has given me a fear of getting to know new people, thinking that something like this could happen again. Ron with a 2 says, help, I just ate so many chicky tendies. How many did you eat, Ron? And did you save us some? What do you guys like to dip your chicky tendies in? Huh? Do they make chicky tendies that are just not breaded? Like just straight up chicken meat? Do they make chicken? Does chicken make chicken? Do they make chicken, guys? Chicken nuggets. Wow, we're at 800 folks. Hey folks, we're at 800 folks here. Goth, are you going to plan a birthday live stream? Nice. Well, I will hopefully be able to stop by. Mayo, honey mustard, ranch, Joel sauce, honey mustard, ranch, sweet and sour, Bojangles, mayo, plain old honey, buffalo definitely, sweet and sour BBQ and buffalo sauce, ranch or ketchup, I'm a child, mustard and ketchup, campfire sauce, what's that? No, it's all fake chicken. Hot sauce, BBQ, blue cheese, oh yeah. Sweet and sour sauce. Damn. Ranch mixed with buffalo sauce. Yeah, that's some form of fancy sauce right there. You dip your chicken tendies in holy water. Yes, you must bless the tendies. Joel juice. Oh, Gothic. Yeah, that would be great. Definitely tweet out and like at me or something so I don't forget. But I'll definitely share the stream and try to drop by. Drum and bass sauce, man. Yeah, definitely all about that stuff. I love like places that just have a ridiculous amount of sauce, like Chick-fil-A or wherever. What do I dip mine in? Probably my own sauce, my Joel sauce. Joel juice. Tartar sauce ain't bad. It tain't. It certainly tain't. Cranch. What's cranch? Ketchup ranch? Oh, yeah. That's the fancy sauce. Nutella. Oh, no. That's cursed. Maybe not. Maybe it's good. Chipotle. Yeah, what is tartar sauce made of? It's like mayonnaise and relish, or is it... Let's see, what is tartar sauce? Sauce so good they named it twice. Tartar sauce is a condiment primarily composed of mayonnaise. Tartar sauce can also be enhanced with additions of gherkins, other varieties of pickles, and lemon juice, as well as herbs such as dill and parsley. Oh, damn, dude. Can you imagine some like really good homemade tartar sauce with like freshly caught cod that you fry up? Holy shit, that sounds lovely. If Hannah was a guy, she would pee everywhere. You're like a cat. Just gonna piss on my pile of clothes here? What the fuck? Okay. So this is story 5. Yeah, what the fuck is gherkins? Did we figure that out? Is mayonnaise an instrument? Mayonnaise. Is tartar sauce an instrument? No, Patrick. One of my job responsibilities working for the county was to work maintenance at the fairgrounds each summer before school started back up. I never had an issue with the extra assignment, as it would usually lead to overtime and the extra money could always help out at home. Typically, we would have a crew of 5 or 6 people who would work the fair. All of us would work after hours and work on specific areas of the fairgrounds. My assignment for this year was the animal barns. Now, these weren't really barns, but were buildings with stalls and pens for the animals to stay for the duration of the fair. We didn't have to worry about feeding or cleaning up after the animals for the most part. We would more do maintenance and cleaning on the building and its public areas. If there were a small issue with water flow or other facilities, we were usually able to take care of it. But our main job was making sure that everything was cleaned and sanitized overnight and in working order for the next morning. I was never a huge fan of working the section with all the animals. The buildings usually smelled, and it was really creepy walking around with dozens of animals in the middle of the night. I would much rather have been assigned to the food areas or even the midway. The midway was pretty much trash duty. Anyways, one night when I was working on the water pressure inside one of the water fountains, I heard a lot of noise coming from the building that held most of the cows. I made my way there pretty quickly to make sure it wasn't something that I had done that was disturbing the animals. When I got there, they were all mooing and moving their heads left and right like they were trying to get out or at least make an aggressive move. The sound was nothing I had ever experienced before. They were mooing over each other and sometimes in unison. It honestly sounded like wolves or huskies or akitas when they howl over one another when they're together. I had no idea what to do, so I just made my way around the building looking for anything out of the normal or something that could be disturbing the cows. I didn't notice anything, and after 5 to 10 minutes the cows seemed to have settled down, and things seemed to or be getting back to normal. I figured that probably another animal may have wandered into the building and spooked the cows or something along those lines. I have no idea. I'm not a farmer, and for all I know, maybe that was normal. Things were normal the next few nights with no strange occurrences. Then on Sunday night, as I was getting ready to finish my shift for the night, I heard noise coming from the same building once again. I headed over there to see what was going on, and it was the same thing. mooing and moving their heads side to side. But this time I felt like I smelled something burning. I started to freak out because I didn't want the animals to be in any danger. I moved quickly around the building to see if I could find the cause of the smell. Eventually, I made my way to the ladder that led to the second floor. This floor was only used for storage and really shouldn't have anything up there that could cause a fire. When I got up there, I found the cause of the smell. There were 6 candles, 5 of which were not lit, and one that was lit and slightly torching the wooden floor. There wasn't much smoke at all, but the smell was very pungent. The candles must have been burning for some time because there was a good amount of wax on the floor. I grabbed my phone to turn my flashlight on to try and see if there was any damage and to make sure the fire had been contained to just this one candle. To my bewilderment, there wasn't only candles up there. There wasn't only candles up there. God damn it. Shelby, with a 2 buckaroo, says, having a hard time buying my membership, but love. Yeah, I don't, people seem to have issues with it once in a while, so I apologize for that. I'm not exactly sure what to do with that. I don't know if like doing it from desktop would be easier, but yeah, but thank you either way for the 2. Thank you. To my bewilderment, there wasn't only candles up there, but there were 3 leather-bound books. I started to freak out a little and shone my phone around to make sure no one was hiding up there. There wasn't a sign of anyone there, but the window on that floor was slightly open and kind of blowing back and forth in the wind. I approached the window but didn't see anything or anyone outside. I went back to the candle area and decided to open the books to see what the stuff was. All 3 books looked like a vintage book you'd find for like $500 in your local bookstore. All had blank pages. Not one single page in each book. Completely blank. I thoroughly freaked out at this point and went back downstairs and called my manager to let him know what happened, and he sent everyone that was still on the premises over to the building to double check that there wasn't a sign of a trespasser and that there wasn't anything that would put the animal's safety at risk, such as another fire. Nothing else of note happened that evening, and the next Monday was the last day of the fair for the year. My coworkers didn't seem concerned, and honestly at that time I don't think I was either. But reflecting back on this, I'm not exactly sure what I stumbled upon that night. Was it a random person who was trying to sleep in the building? Was it someone who was up to something more sinister? And what were they doing that was making the animals so upset? If anyone has any comments or suggestions, I would look forward to hear what you have to say. Can't get it to work. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes the people have like issues with joining the membership things. It's very strange. Apples, Limbo, thank you. You brought me some. Eating some leftovers from Red Lobster. Are they them biscuits? Them buttery, flaky biscuits? Hello, Hannah. I am here. I have arrived. What did I miss? I had a rough time trying to get my profile pic too. Couldn't figure out how until I went up to my Google account online and went to settings. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it kind of pisses me off. Like, sometimes Google and YouTube's like streaming stuff, I don't know. Things are just like unnecessarily complicated sometimes. It never seems like it's got everything. Because I guess they're trying to do so many things at once. Uploading videos, making that well, but then also like going into the streaming thing. Like, I still haven't figured out how to like add tags to my streams. So I sometimes wonder if that kind of hurts it, because every time I go to add tags to it, it like starts up a stream as if though I'm streaming, but there's no like streaming software to connect to, my microphone and all that kind of stuff. So, fuck if I know, bro. You got a super late notification. Yeah, I just don't get that. Like, why not just literally send them out to maybe honestly, maybe sometimes like they haven't figured it out to like they haven't figured out like how to sort of ease people into a connection or something for a live stream. You know what I mean? Like maybe if you were to just like suddenly influx like 2,000 people into here, maybe it would cause some sort of issue that I'm not really sure of, you know? Alex is being right back. I have heard and read a lot of horror stories on the internet, and I've always been quick to dismiss them as fake or fabricated. However, after the experience I had, which I am currently putting into writing... What? Oh, I see. However, after the experience that I had, which I'm currently putting into writing, I can attest that when you hear these stories and you feel like they can never happen to you, and that the experiences are somewhat displaced from reality, they really do happen, and they do have lasting impacts on people's lives. My expertise was easily the most horrifying and disturbing experience of my life. My expertise? What does that mean? Oh, experience. I think they typed that's funny. Gem, thank you. Like all the colors. Cool. Also, this song kind of is like, there's a little bit of like stuff in the background that has sounds like a whale, and then whenever that like orca pops on screen, I'm like, oh, that's perfect. Oh, that's perfect. Oh my god. Wendy's awesome sauce. Hey, Lils. My experience was easily the most horrifying and disturbing experience of my life. All the names in the story have been changed to keep identities and locations confidential. The night in question started like any other typical late summer evening. My hometown holds a pretty big fair to cap the end of the summertime festivities, and this year was no different. I attended the fair with my two best friends, Kevin and Jeff. Once arriving at the fairgrounds, we decided to meet up with my girlfriend Jamie and her two friends Amanda and Jill. We were all having a blast and eating food, checking out the local items for sale at the tents, listening to music, and walking around just taking in the environment. For those of you that attend your local fairs, you know that something about them brings out some unique people. And shortly after arriving, we bumped into a particular patron who was very unique. It was a middle-aged man, dressed like a clown. His dirty and rugged clothes almost made him look homeless, but I just figured it was part of the clown getup. This peculiar-looking man had a red rubber nose and a clown wig came... What? Clown wig came? Sorry. Sorry. Hopefully the stream gets to 1,000. Well, we are at 850 right now, so thanks for being here, guys. Here we go. One more time. Bacon... Oh, jeez. This peculiar-looking man had a red rubber nose and a clown wig on, and shoes the size of a small boat. As we were walking, he came from behind us and grabbed my friend Kevin and asked for some spare change. It was harmless, honestly, but just startled our group as we didn't see him approaching. I think we gave him $5 to $10 and wished him a good evening and continued walking in the direction we were going. After creating a nice distance away from the clown, we decided to take a break from walking, grab a drink, as it was pretty hot out. That sounded like a squeak of voicing, so I can't be having that in me recordings. And before wigs came. Did someone say bread? You're in the mood for a good bonk. Horny bonk. After creating a nice distance away from the clown, we decided to take a break from walking, grab a drink as it was pretty hot out. This was when I noticed a man in the distance. He was wearing a red mask, black hooded sweatshirt, jeans and work boots, and was carrying what appeared to be an axe or hatchet. It is important to note that at this point we were on the midway of the fair, which contained tons of rides and games as far as you could see. So even though this man gave me pause, I was not real concerned because there were funhouse. Oops, sorry. A big truck just drove by. That's kind of weird. Late night deliveries, I suppose. You're going to Hungry Jack's. Anybody want anything? Fuck, what do they got? Give me a big old bunless burger. So even though this man gave me pause, I was not real concerned because there were fun houses and haunted house exhibits all over this section of the fair. A few minutes later, we decided to do some rides so each one of us could break off into pairs. That's when I noticed the masked man again. We were on one of those old-fashioned wooden roller coasters when I noticed the man was standing behind the attraction. As soon as the ride ended, I kind of made a dash towards the exit of the ride. Kevin and Jeff were kind of annoyed and finally yelled for me to stop. Several yards away from the roller coaster, I told the group about the masked man and how I wanted to tell some kind of fair security, just to see if this man was in fact part of the fair or a crazy person walking around with a weapon. The group laughed and told me to calm down. They pointed to one of the haunted houses, and there was a zombie standing outside scaring people in line. A few more exhibits down was a fun house where a killer clown was messing around with guests. They told me to relax and that the Axeman was just be part of the... They told me to relax and that the Axeman was just part of the fair. I agreed and went back to trying to have a good time with everyone. Toward the end of the night, we were getting ready to leave and head back to Jamie's house for some night swimming when Jeff wanted to get some ice cream. We agreed to stop on the way out. Well, Kevin, Jeff, Amanda, and Jill waited in line. Me and Jamie set off to the side and just people watched, until Jamie's face turned ghost white. Once I noticed her expression change, I turned and noticed the Axeman standing in the distance. I decided no more games, and I ran after the man full speed ahead. I chased him through one of the animal tents, but due to the large... Why is she chasing this Axeman? What the fuck? I chased him through one of the animal tents, but due to the large amount of people, I lost him. I figured since he ran away that he must just be someone who worked for the fair and that was messing with us, right? A couple of hours later, we were at Jamie's sitting around the fire. It was just the six of us enjoying some conversation and laughs. Our bliss suddenly turned to panic when we heard shuffling through the forest that sits behind Jamie's house. We stopped talking and stared into the thick, dark trees. All we could hear was the crackling of the fire and the stillness of the night as we stared into the dark void. Then, out of the darkness, was the Axeman, and his red mask appeared. He ran full speed out of the trees with the same axe in hand. The expressionless red mask and the way his head was tilted is an image I'll never be able to get out of my head. This isn't happening. This can't be real is all I could think of as the six of us sprinted away from the fire. Jamie's house was too far away, so we ran to the pool house, which is a small little room filled with all the pool toys and chlorine. And like every horror story cliche out there, Jamie truly lived in the middle of nowhere. Andy's cell phone was back inside with my clothes. I arrived at the pool house first and opened the door. I just about pushed everyone in and made my way in last, and as I tried to shut the door, the man threw down his axe and sliced the top of my arm. Grimacing in pain, listening to screaming behind me as I was able to grab the door and shut it and lock it, the man beat on the door either with his hand or the handle of the axe. We screamed and cried, and by some stroke of luck, Jamie had a landline phone in the small little pool house and dialed 911. The Axeman must have heard the conversation because he immediately stopped trying to break down the door. We peered out the window and noticed the figure facing the door but not moving. His black eyes staring out of the red mask, holding the axe with both hands, he then lifted the axe and threw it at the door. After just a couple of seconds, he removed the mask, and this was when I realized he was not a he at all, but a woman. She had makeup running down her face as if she were crying all night long. She fell to her knees and began to scream and cry. The emotions we all felt at this moment were almost indescribable. This is when I noticed Jeff looked like he was about to be sick. The woman with the axe was his ex-girlfriend from college that none of us had ever met. He was in shock and clearly at a complete loss for words. No sooner after this revelation did the cops show up and promptly arrested her. We all gave our statements and went out to... We all gave our statements and went our separate ways. Me, directly to the hospital. Thankfully, I only had to have about 15 stitches, but it could have been much, much worse had it reached the bone. I stayed with Jamie to make sure that... Oops, sorry, I read that wrong. Jamie stayed with me that night, just to make sure that we were going to be okay. Now, I know writing this story does sound ludicrous, and it might be a stretch of some of you to believe, but I know the fear that I felt that night, and the raw emotions that will impact my life forever. Everyone be careful out there. Always be around... Ugh, Jesus Christ, sorry. Everyone be careful out there, and always be aware of your surroundings constantly. And also, be aware of people's histories and the things that might come back to haunt them. 3 years after my boyfriend broke up with me, I found out he most likely cheated on me. I don't know how I feel about that. Well, definitely don't go axe murdering him. I don't think that would be the wisest decision, but I am sorry that that happened. Not to minimize the danger of the situation, then, but why an axe? That's just a lot of running around. I don't know. That sounded like a bit of a stretch of a story to me, but I feel like usually if something as serious as that happens, you need to have like more follow-up with, you know, what happened with the police and shit like that. How many stories left? I could listen to you read all night, so I just have one story left, but I think we'll make it to at least 900 people here tonight, which would be pretty badass. Deshay with the 2 says, finally in Texas, destination ETA 12:20, so tired. Hey, nice. Welcome to Tejas, yeah. The biggest thing in the world. Do you know Umami? Your intro reminds me of him. Yeah, one of my intros is actually made by Mr. Umami. He was a very talented narrator. I love his stuff.
Hey, listen.
Why hasn't Pradeep been needy lately? I don't know, honestly. I thought he was in the room, but he may have been banging his body on the door and I hadn't even heard him. Or he might just be in a little bit of a perfect paradise out there in the living room. That's his dojo. Give us proof Pradeep is okay and you didn't make him into slippers. Oh, God. He wouldn't make very good slippers anyways. Maybe like one slipper. Just kidding. I would kiss him to death, that's all. Your intro zooming into the creepy antler guy is the scariest one. I love it. Yeah, that's a really good one. How old is Pradeep? Your cat's 20 years old. Holy shit. Yeah, Pradeep is 6. That's crazy. Samuel with the 2 says, do an Al Pacino Scarface impression. Okay. What does he say? Okay. No. What does he say? Fuck. Time to meet my little friend. Or something like that. Doesn't he say like time to meet? Does he say time to meet? Time to meet my little... Let me introduce you to my little friend. Wait. Oh, say hello. Say hello to my little friend. Dude, he's such a badass. What the fuck? This fucking scene is so sick. And I love that, like, this movie inspired GTA Vice City. Silent Echoes with the 2 says sad face, only one story. I'm sorry. You wanna play games? You wanna play games? Okay. Okay. Pulls up his fucking... You wanna play rough? Say hello to my little friend. Fucking grenade launch that goddamn door. Say hello to my little friend. Dude, yeah, the part where they're like chainsawing somebody is so scary. Also, I'm pretty sure the next GTA is going to be like in Vice City area and take place like, it's going to play out a little bit like Narcos. Apparently Narcos is a big, this is just from rumors that I heard, so it could be all bullshit. But apparently Narcos is a big influence for the game. So they're going to be going back and forth between like, you know, what the fuck? You have been signed out of Skype. Launch the app to sign back in. That's a bit odd. Why? I didn't even know I was signed into Skype at all. Did you ever, like, not realize that Skype is even running? That's fucking weird. Say honk to my little bunk. Okay? But anyways, yeah. So, because if you played Red Dead Redemption, whenever you go to Guarma and,
Do my best Gilbert Godfrey impression. I like women like I like my wine. Full-bodied and locked up in a cellar. Gilbert Godfrey. Gilbert.
uninstall Skype. Yeah, why the fuck do I have Skype? I know it's not a good time to install, but we all want to hang out. Fuck Skype, dude. I have no time for Skype. I think I honestly just use Discord. Skype's a pain in the ass. Let's see. Programs. No. Programs. Programs features. Let's see. Skype.
Gilbert Godfrey here.
Oh, it doesn't even show up. What the fuck is Skype? Uninstall. Well. Yeah, Discord's the best. Do a Borat voice. Very nice. Very sexy. What does he say? My friend is mentally retired. Squawk, squawk, squawk. That's my new ringtone now. Thanks, Joe. That's awesome. Mr. Nightmare's better. Thanks, Alex. You stinky, stinky butt. Who even still uses Skype? I don't know. I think I had to do a call for a business thing one time, but it's fucking pain in the arse. Alright, let's do this. Last story of the night, guys. Llama Arts is better. Yeah, I wish I had his skills of animating. That would be badass. So this story is a bit unsettling and weird. A little different than stories that are usually posted here. The events of this night I didn't really consider scary until years later when I really reflected on what truly happened. I'm 30 years old now, but was only 15 during the events of the story. The evening started fairly normal. A bunch of my friends and I just wanted to hang out, thinking we were cool because we were at the state fair without any adults. It was a group of about 10 of us, if I remember correctly. We decided to post up toward the back of the fairgrounds where all the rides were. We were all just talking, telling jokes, and trying to impress the girls that would occasionally walk by. During our time hanging out in the back, we were approached by a very strange-looking person. He was an average height, a little thick in the belly, almost like a beer belly, bald, but was sporting some hair on the sides. He approached us with great confidence and said in a stern voice, "You guys waiting for the ship as well?" Thinking this was more comical than scary, we kind of just laughed and responded with, "The ship? What are you talking about?" The man smiled and flashed his chipped teeth and again, in his confident voice, said, "Yeah, the ship from space. You guys here to board as well?" Well, being kids, we just thought this was a joke. We laughed hysterically and just thought that this guy had a lot to drink or something along those lines. After we had finished basically laughing in this guy's face, I finally responded to him saying, "Where's this ship going?" He responded confidently, "The Andromeda Galaxy, of course." That was the last straw for us. We were just about hunched over in pain as we were laughing so hard. Well, the man finally realized we were laughing at him, and he changed his tone real quick. The confidence in his voice became faint, and the man said, "Go ahead. Laugh at me. When they come, you'll see." We responded by basically saying whatever and stepping away from this crazy guy. At this point, he started to follow us and was now irate, chasing us and was yelling about the aliens. Finally, after a few minutes of this and lots of stares from the people at the fair, I turned around and said in my blunt 15-year-old voice, "Dude, leave us alone. We don't want any part of your ship or aliens, man." Still treating this a joke, but more annoyed and creeped out than anything else, we just kept walking. The man finally yelled, "Stop!" We all turned and looked at the creepy UFO man, and He said, almost in tears now, "I've seen you in my dreams. You've been on the ship with me, and they chose us." Officially creeped out, I pushed the guy away. He surprisingly went backwards quickly like he weighed nothing. After that, he just started laughing with all the commotion we... No, oops. After that, he just started laughing, and with all the commotion we noticed many fairgoers forming a circle around us to make sure there wasn't an issue escalating. The crazy man started pacing around the circle of people that formed, and started to ask everyone in almost a desperate voice now, "Are any of you going up? They'll be here soon. We need to get ready." The poor guy was met with tons of laughter. I started to feel bad for him. It seemed like this person was really suffering from some sort of crazed delusion. While the man was interrogating the other fairgoers, we used the opportunity to make our way to the main entrance. Honestly, we were just done with the guy and done with the night. It was starting to get concerning, and we really didn't want any trouble or to have something happen that would need our parents to get involved. Once we got to the main entrance, we took a shuttle back to the parking lot where my mom was picking me up along with 3 of my friends. We got to the lot. She was not there yet, so we just waited by the entrance to the lot until my mom got there. Right on cue, directly across from the lot, which is essentially a heavily wooded area, we saw the same guy just standing there, staring at us. We didn't say or do anything to provoke him this time. We just watched and waited anxiously for my mom. As we stood there, we noticed that the man just kept pointing up at the sky. He didn't look like he was saying anything, but we wouldn't have been able to hear him if he was anyways. Maybe he was at least 100 yards away. In the distance, we finally saw my mom driving in our green Windstar van. As we approached the doors of the van, we noticed the man was now somewhat rapidly approaching us. Not running, but walking briskly, I would say. We started to move fast, not really knowing if this guy was dangerous or not. And as I got into the passenger side, the man waved from the side of the road, and I just barely heard him say, "I'll see you up there," as he smiled awkwardly at the van. It was not until years later when I was telling the story that I realized just how disturbing it really was. We had no idea if this guy could have caused us harm, if he was insane, or if by some crazy chance there was some truth to his crazy delusion. I often used to wonder what happened to that guy, as I never saw him again. I still attend the fair every year, and honestly, I will always go back to that spot at the back of the grounds to see if the strange man ever does come back. Either way, it was a very strange and interesting story I really wanted to share, and it just makes you wonder what goes on in other people's minds and what their true intentions are. Sub to PewDiePie. Are you guys subscribing to PewDiePie appropriately? I don't know, Red Dead has some pretty cool like alien cult shit in that, which is pretty neat. The Agents of Bonk. I'm going to read this nice little outro if you guys would like to. Oh. That's weird. You bet PewDiePie secretly watches Let's Read every night? I hope so. That would be neat. I've always been curious about like really big YouTubers and like who they're into. Hey, I love you too. Thank you. Sub to Markiplier. Yeah, Mark's a good man too. Man, they've been in the game for eons. Crazy. Aeons. Yeah, that guy was taking a first ship to Uranus. Hey friends, thanks for listening. Be sure to subscribe and click that notification bell to be alerted of all future narrations. And if you got a story, be sure to submit them to my subreddit, r/Let's Read Official, and give and receive feedback from the community, and maybe even hear your story featured on the next video. And join my Discord to interact with me and other listeners directly. And if you want to support me even more, grab early access to all future narrations for just $1 a month on Patreon, and maybe even pick up some Let's Read merch on Spreadshirt. And check out the Let's Read podcast, where you can hear all these stories in long compilation form and save huge on data, located anywhere you listen to podcasts. Links in the bio. Thanks so much, friends, and remember to drink your milk and take your vitamins. I saw that. I was the only one that had a suggestion in the chat. I think it's cool that instead of reusing the outro lines, he records them new each time. Yeah, just got to keep it clean, and I think it's just easier for editing for me because I can just throw it in there instead of like going back and looking at old stuff to find it. It's much better that way. Hey, Brittany, T with the 20 big ones on the way out here says thank you for another great stream. You're amazing and very, very appreciated. Love you, Joel. Thank you, Brittany. Love you as well. Thank you for your generosity. Drink your vitamins and take your milk. Yeah, maybe I should say that instead. Thanks so much, friends. And remember to always drink your vitamins and take your milk. Also, I don't really think milk's very good for you. I'm not saying it's bad for you, but I feel like there's like a lot of other options now in the world for other than milk. And all the shit that like milk goes through, it seems like nowadays. Even though there is this one milk that like removes the lactose, that's actually really fucking good. I think it's called Lactate or something of that nature. I forget. Lactate. Wait, let's read yawns. I do. It's about my nighty night time. Ooh woo, ooh woo, ooh woo, ooh woo, ooh fucking woo, fucking woo woo. It's all about that silk, huh? Yeah, there's a lot of good options out there, which is delicioso. I don't yawn, I don't poop, I don't sneeze. That's right, Hannah. She knows. She's in charge of my bodily functions. Well, guys, once again, thank you so much for another amazing stream in the books. This one will be releasing, as always, today. Now it's midnight here on the East Coast. That's my time frame to go off of at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So be sure to keep an eye out for that, which is badass. And then, yeah, if you want to get it early, you can get it on Patreon, $1 a month, and get all that on MP3, downloadable. Bring it with you on a little bit of a road trip if you're heading to Texas, wherever. Throw it in, listen to it, get spookied on, baby. And then join the Discord if you guys enjoy this amazing community we've created here. Feel free to join the Discord where a general chat and all of the chats are always popping, and you might even catch me on a more chill note in one of the voice chat areas at some point. Many here can attest to that. So, good night to you all. Please be safe out there. As always, much love, wear a glove, and don't hover over my shoulder. Just kidding, that's fine. You can do that. Okay. Peace out. Follow me on Instagram, Let's Read.official, in Twitter, at Let's Read Creepy, and my meme page, at Horny Computer. Okay, that's all. Goodbye.